There's only two ways to make more money as a barber, and in this video I'm going to break down the two ways to do it so that you can make more money starting today. So I think it's important to talk about what I mean by making more money as a barber. What we're talking about is increasing sales. Making more money means increasing revenue, and there's only two ways. That's it. It's really simple. Let's go over it. So the first way is probably really obvious to some of you, and it's probably the thing that I see a lot of barbers focusing on more. You could also think about this as like increasing productivity. So you have a certain amount of time available in your schedule, and right now maybe you're 60% booked, 70% booked, right? So if you get more clients to come see you, you will fill your schedule more, which increases your productivity, right? So getting more new clients essentially just means marketing. And there's a lot of ways to do that. I just made a video about marketing for barbers if you want to check that out. But essentially you want to get more clients to come through the door. And this is what a lot of barbers focus on. And I think that the other part that we're going to talk about is more important. But if you're first starting out, right, or you're in a new shop, you're in a new city, or you're new to the industry, then you got to start here because you need something to work off of. And so getting more new clients is the start, right? But I think that the best return on investment is probably going to be the second method, which is making your clients worth more. So making clients worth more, what does that mean? It essentially means that for as long as they're a client of yours, you're going to try to get them to spend more money. And there's a lot of ways to do that. I think it's a lot simpler, not easier, but simpler than trying to get new clients. And honestly, this is where a lot of the best businesses in our industry focus. And I see a lot of barbershops and barbers that are never really get to this point. They're always focusing on just getting more new clients without really even ever considering, well, how can I just get the clients that already come here to spend more? That's essentially what making clients worth more means, is that you're getting your clients that are already coming to you to spend more. So there's a few ways to do that. The first way is basically retention. So if you retain them longer, they will spend more money without really doing anything else that we're going to talk about. If you just get clients to keep coming back and to get them to come back longer, then you will make more money off of them. So for example, if you find that your clients on average, lifetime value is another way of thinking about this, but let's say that they're usually a client of yours for 6 months or a year. Let's use a year, right? If they're a client of yours on average for a year, if you can get them to stay a client for 2 years instead, they spend twice as much. So you're making twice as much off the same client instead of losing that client after a year and then having to go and find a new client to replace them. So simply just retaining them longer by providing great customer service, being consistent, providing high quality, being a great value. So you can retain them longer by doing those things. And another way you can do this is maybe trying to get clients who have stopped coming to you to come back. So you don't only have to think about this as the clients that are currently coming to you. If you've been at a shop for a while and you've had clients that maybe you haven't seen in a while, you can reach out to them and try to get them to come back in. You can offer them an incentive. The idea is you want to try to figure out how you can get the clients that are already coming to you or maybe have came to you in the past to keep coming back, because it's going to be a way better return on investment than trying to get a new client to come in who's never heard about you. The second method that you can use to make your clients worth more is to increase the frequency of visit. So basically what that means is if you look at a year, like let's keep using that year example, and a client comes to you, let's say once a month on average, if you can just get them to come in every 3 weeks instead of every 4 weeks, you will make significantly more money off them. If somebody comes in once a year, that's 12 visits. And let's say you charge $40 for a haircut. So 12 times 40 is $480. But if they come every 3 weeks, that's 17-ish visits per year at the same $40. So 17 times 40 is $680. So just by getting your clients to come in one more week sooner, you can make $200 more in this example off just simply by increasing the frequency of visit. You didn't raise prices, you didn't do anything. Maybe you only retain them for a year, but you got the frequency of visit up by one more week, and you increased it by $200. And if you did that by 1,000 clients, that's where this really starts to get powerful. One way you can increase frequency of visit is by rebooking, right? So getting your clients to book their next appointment before they leave the shop. They're way more likely to come in sooner than if they leave and then they go to book it on their own, especially if you're busy, because they may have to put off their haircut longer than they really wanted to. So maybe they wanted to come in at 3 weeks, but you were booked a week out, so they had to wait a 4th week. So that's actually costing you money. Not rebooking could actually be costing you money. It's hard. It's a skill. I have a video about rebooking if you want to check that out. All you have to do is try to get your clients to come in a little bit sooner than what if they would do on their own. Rebooking is one of the best ways that I know of to do that, and you will automatically make more. And a third way to make your clients worth more is to increase the average spend. So some people call this average ticket, and figuring out this number is pretty easy. All you got to do is take your total sales and divide it by the total number of clients. Pretty easy, right? None of this is, this is all elementary school math that we're using here. And that gives you your average ticket. So if you don't know what your average ticket is right now, I would highly suggest that you figure it out. I would use, probably about a month's worth of data, and if you're really trying to dial it in, do 6 months worth. So that way you can figure out kind of your baseline, and then you can work to increase that. So let's say your average ticket is, let's say your haircut price is 40, right? So maybe your average ticket is like 45. Now that you know this number, you can try to increase it. Even if you just increase it by $1, any increase is going to put more money in your pocket. So how do you increase average ticket? There's a few ways to do that. So you can upsell. So this means if a client is only coming to you for a haircut and you've got the extra time, see if they need a beard trim. See if they need a shave. Do you offer other services like waxing or shampoo or anything like that? So many barbers are just focused on just the haircut, but there's probably other things that the client needs that maybe they don't even know that you provide. And you'd be surprised how many people will say yes, especially if it's not an expensive upsell, or if you offer it to them. So if you have the time, try to upsell your clients into getting more than just a haircut, and that's going to automatically increase your average ticket. Another way to do that is with retail. Barbers, for some reason, really hate retail, but it's probably one of the easiest and most effective ways to increase your average ticket. This is also the only method that doesn't involve selling more of your time, because if you upsell a service, now you're going to have to do that service. You're going to have to use your time to do that service, where retail is simply just seeing if they need any product for home, right? You use it in their hair, you explain the benefits to them, and then you see if they want to buy it, right? And you have to be consistent with it, because that's just how everything is here. Like if you're only talking about upselling in retail every 10 clients, you're going to be way less successful than if you're doing it with every client every single time. So retail is probably one of the easiest and most profitable ways to increase, because we're not really going to get into that in this video, but We're talking about top line revenue, sales, and if you have very slim margins on your services, I mean, retail is one of the easiest ways to add profit to the bottom line. The last way to increase average ticket is simply just to raise prices. So if you've done all of these things and you're still not making enough, then the last resort, I think, is probably to raise prices. Because this is automatically, without doing anything else, if you just raise your prices, you're automatically going to make more. It doesn't matter where you're currently at. If you're not doing any of these other things, you can automatically make more by simply raising your prices. I mean, you will lose clients, and I think the amount of clients that you lose kind of depends on how much the increase is. But if you need to make more money right now, this is the solution. So if you're in danger of going out of business and you don't have time to increase the frequency of visit or focus on retention, I mean, these are like really like long-term plays, but these are the things that'll make a difference right now. If you increase your average ticket, you can start making more money right now. You don't have to worry about getting new clients. You can just focus on these three things and it'll start putting more money in your pocket today. So raising prices is probably the most effective short-term strategy in making more money from your current clients and making them worth more. This is just kind of a high-level overview of all of the most effective ways that I know of to make more money as a barber. There's a lot more to it than this and a lot of nuances, but what I would just say is for right now, just pick one method, and depending on where you are. Like if you don't have clients, then you need to focus on this. Don't even worry about this yet, right? You want to start to shift your focus to this once you start to get busy, but if you don't have clients to make worth more, then just focus on marketing, right? But if you have clients already and you're still not happy with what you're making, then this is where I would shift my focus. Retain them longer, increase frequency of visit by rebooking, or increase your average ticket somehow, right? So pick one method, depending on where you're at, and just master that. And once you've got that locked in, then maybe try to do something else. Really, ideally, you want to do all of these things, right? But I would say just to start, just so you're not overwhelmed, pick one thing, get really, really good at it, and then maybe try something else once you've kind of maxed out your skill on that. Hopefully you found that helpful. Join my free mastermind where you can get access to things like this that aren't made public. There's a community of barbers in there that are wanting to make more money and grow their clientele. I'll put the link in the description below. I hope to see you there.